Ms. Barksdale has graciously given me her time today. We're going to deal with Mr. Phillips' cases first. But if there are any pro se litigants here, what we're going to try to do is provide you with a fillable judgment form that at a minimum, we would need you to put the name of the parties, the case number, and whatever judgment was rendered, whether the case was dismissed or whether there was a money judgment given, and then present that to my judicial assistant, Ms. Moultrie, so that if you get it to me today before 3, it will be signed and filed today. But you just don't know how many judgments and how many things I have to deal with that it becomes difficult to keep up. So I require that of the attorneys, and I'm going to require that of the pro se litigants. All right. So today is June 8th, 2022. This is 8:30 civil dispossessory calendar. My name is Brad Gardner. I'm going to be magistrate judge presiding over this case today. I'm going to call the calendar, and when you hear your case call, please make the appropriate announcement. Position 1 is Strata Hanover LLC versus Katina Pulliam and all occupants.
Tracy Barksdale for the plaintiff. Your Honor, we're ready.
Is Katina Pulliam here?
Move to strike at the appropriate time, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Position 2, Marbella Place versus Cameron Samples.
Tracy Barksdale ready for the plaintiff.
Is Cameron Samples present?
Move to strike at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Position 3, Pine Knoll Apartments versus Dion Harris. No answer. The case will be dismissed for warrant of prosecution. Position 4, Majestic or Montega Apartments versus Gregory Gibson.
Russell Phillips for the plaintiff.
Do we have an announcement for Gregory Gibson?
Move to strike, Your Honor.
Thank you. Position 5, Ekperia.
Excuse me, Your Honor. We do have someone here for Mr. Gibson. I'm sorry, we were having some technical difficulties getting onto the Zoom, but I have him here.
Okay. When you say someone, is that Mr. Gibson or a lawyer for Mr. Gibson?
No, we have Mr. Gibson here.
Okay. Mr. Gibson.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe it will be beneficial to speak to Mr. Phillips in a breakout room regarding this matter to potentially reach a negotiated settlement?
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Phillips, depending on what happens with your other case, I may immediately place you in a breakout room, understanding your time constraints. Okay, Mr. Gibson, you can go back, sit back in the audience, sir.
All right.
Position 5, Ekperia or Ekperi.
Yes, sir.
Boniface versus Rodney Duhart,
Yes, sir.
Angelica Duhart.
Yes, Your Honor. We have him. He's coming up right now.
Okay, we have Mr. Boniface and Ms. Duhart.
Yes.
Hold on. I guarantee I'm gonna let you speak, okay? Do you believe it would be beneficial, ma'am, to be placed in a breakout room to have a discussion with Mr. Boniface about possibly reaching a negotiated settlement?
Well, he already said that he wanted his property back because his family he said he wanted his property back because his family came from Africa and he wanted the bigger house that we was in.
Stop, ma'am. I asked you a question. I need an answer. Yes or no?
No, no, we already moved out.
Okay. When did you move out?
Maybe like, I think like 5 days ago, like on the first.
Okay. I'm gonna come back to the two of you because I'm really trying to be sensitive to Mr. Phillips' time and try to get him done and out of here by 9. So this seems like it's gonna be a longer discussion, but ma'am, I will allow you and Mr. Boniface to say whatever you need to say to me, okay? So don't feel pressured because I'm gonna let you speak, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Position 7, Jamco Properties Inc. versus Reginald Franklin.
Tracy Barksdale, ready for the plaintiff.
Do we have an announcement from Reginald Franklin? Reginald Franklin?
Move to strike at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Position 7, Launchpad Investments versus John Doe et al. And Bruce Davenport. Is there anyone present from Launchpad Investments? Is there anyone present from Bruce Davenport? I don't think I've ever seen a John Doe on a dispossessory case, but that case will be dismissed for warrant of prosecution. Finally, position 8, Parkside Crossing Apartments versus Jasmine Hodges. And I see Ms. Hodges present, and that's your case, Mr. Phillips.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that completes the call on my calendar. Is there anyone that expected to hear a case call that did not hear their case call? Okay. Well, let me ask this question. Ms. Hodges, do you believe it'll be beneficial for you to have a conversation with Mr. Phillips about possibly reaching a negotiated settlement in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Phillips, you know your case better and you know your time constraints. Which case do you want me to place in the breakout room first? You're
Sorry about that. Can I speak with Ms. Hodges first? That way I'm not taking up the courtroom Zoom.
Sure. Okay. Miss Hodges, I'm gonna place you and Mr. Phillips in breakout room 1. And so when you see that, please click on that, and then you'll be in the private room. Now, Miss Duhart and Mr. Boniface.
Yes, sir.
Give me 1 second. And Ms. Barksdale, do you still need your witness here? Because we didn't get an announcement from Cameron Samples.
I don't, Your Honor. She may be excused.
Okay. I think she actually just clicked off. Okay. Mr. Boniface and Ms. Duhart, would you both please raise your right hand? You swear affirming the statements you make during this proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. So,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, you said yes. I'm going to start with Mr. Boniface, Ms. Duhart, because he is the petitioner. And I'm sorry, I was pausing because it looks like somebody's trying to log on and said Villages PC-29. With the person that just logged on that says Villages PC-29, would you please identify yourself? Turn your camera on and identify yourself. Okay, Villages PC-29, would you please turn your camera on and identify yourself, or you will be eliminated from this proceeding. And if I eliminate you from this proceeding, you would not be able to log back on. Okay, we're going once, going twice. Okay.
She says she's having issues with her camera.
Issues.
In the chat. She has
Yeah, I just saw that. Can you at least unmute yourself? Okay. We'll get back to that person. So for the record, this is position 5, case number 2021 CM 18224. We have Mr. Boniface present and we have Ms. Duhart present. Mr. Boniface, did you hear Ms. Duhart said that she has moved out of the residence?
This is the first time I've had it.
I can't understand you, sir.
She never told me and nobody told me.
Okay, so Mr. Boniface and Ms. Duhart, if I ask you a question, please give me an answer. The question was, did you hear her say that she had moved out in 5 days, 5 days ago?
Yes, I heard it from her now.
Okay. Your position here is to, I'm assuming, get possession of the property, which I can issue today. And I'll get with you in 1 second, Mr. Phillips. Or you may, if you need to leave and come back on. But do you have an announcement with Ms. Hodges?
Your Honor, we're just requesting to continue this case for 3 weeks. It appears Ms. Hodges is approved for rent relief.
Okay.
And I want to at least see if we can get that done.
Okay. Miss Mary, can we give a date? And I try to put these cases back on my calendar.
That's
I would actually be, Ms. Hutchison will have to tell you that because we don't have access to that calendar.
Okay, Miss Hutchison, when is my next calendar?
I can't say for sure, but I believe it's July the 6th.
Okay. We're gonna
That's probably right, Jermaine.
okay. So we're gonna continue this to July 6th. Miss Hodges, Mr. Phillips, if everything is worked out before then, please just send something to Miss Mary. You should have her email address and it'll get to me and I'll sign off on it, and neither you or Miss Hodges would have to come back. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Hodges, you are excused. And because I don't have the ability to place you in another breakout room, Mr. Phillips, you are free to go for your hearing to make the announcement you need to make. And I should be finished with this by the time you come back.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think I can run it on my phone, so I'll still be here if you.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
I'm trying to be accessible to everyone. So, Mr. Boniface, now that you have possession of the property, are you making a claim as to any, well, you don't have possession, but are you making a claim as to any amounts that you believe are owed to you?
Yes, Your Honor. The last rent they paid was in September 2020 and 2021. And
Hold on. Was that September 2021 or September 2020?
September 2020. I'm sorry, Your Honor. So the rent has not been paid since October of last year. Then up till now, rent has not been paid.
Okay. And how much was the amount per month for the rent?
Your Honor, the amount is $375, and the late fee is $200 altogether.
Hold on. So you're saying it's $375 per month?
No, $1,375. 1,375
Per month.
per month, and the late fee $200. So altogether $1,575 a month.
Okay. So how much are you requesting?
Your Honor, I'm requesting for the whole month, and I have not gone to the property to see the damages. So when I assess there, you advise me what to do about damages in the property when I go down there.
Okay, Mr. Boniface, I cannot advise anybody. I'm asking how much are you requesting?
No, mean that I am requesting for, I think, 1,375 times, I think it's 9 months or 10 months. That would be 45, 7, 20, 7 plus 6, 30. 27 plus 32, 200, 19 plus calculate for me. 19, 137, no, 1, 5, 7, that is 225 or 200. 575 times 9, 29 or 10, 45, 4, 67, 45 plus 6, 45 plus 5 plus 6, 42.
Okay, the person at Villages PC 29, you still have to get your camera working.
Your Honor, I calculated 14,175.
I'm sorry, say that again, sir.
Your Honor, the total is 14,175.
14,100 and you said 25?
975.
975. Okay.
14,175. I don't know what that is.
We're having some communication difficulties, and it's I'm gonna blame myself, but I thought I said 14,175, and I thought you then said 14,975. But then I thought you went back to 14,175. So could you just repeat that number again?
The total I have here is $14,175.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some foundational questions. When was the lease entered into?
Your Honor, what happened was they entered my property in 2018. So after
Mr. Boniface, these are words. I asked a question of when was the lease entered into. I don't want to hear the origin story. I don't want to hear when the house was built. I don't want to hear all of that stuff. I want answers to my questions so that I can move this case along.
Okay.
And I can get to the other people that are waiting.
Okay. Your Honor, the lease was entered on August 1.
Of what year? Of what year?
2021.
2021. I'm sorry?
August, that was August 1, 2021.
Okay. So is it your testimony that she essentially made 1 month of payment and that was it? Because I thought your testimony was that the last payment you received was September 23rd of 2021.
That's what I was explaining, Your Honor. That's what I was explaining to you, that after we started the new lease, that's the new lease. The new lease, the date we wrote here was, the shall commence on August 1, 2021. That was last.
I know when that is, Mr. Boniface. So, sir, I need you to help me move this along by just answering my questions, because these questions have legal import. So I'm asking questions so that I know what I'm doing, okay? So your last payment was received, or your first payment was September 23rd of 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this question. There is rental assistance money that is available. And I don't know if you want Ms. Duhart to stay there, or if Ms. Duhart wanted to stay there, but if she wants to stay there and you want her to stay there, you all can apply for rental assistance monies that are available. What that does for you, Mr. Boniface, is that all I can offer you today is a piece of paper that says Ms. Duhart owes you money. And it's up to you then to go through the steps of collecting that, which is a whole separate area of the law. Judge can't help you. I can't come down with a handgun and stick it in Miss Duhart's back and say, empty your pockets. You can't do that. This process has been put in place because of the pandemic to help landlords and renters, so that landlords can at least get money that are owed to them, and tenants get to stay in the residence. But it sounds like Ms. Duhart has moved out. But before I move to her, I'm going to ask you if that is something that is available. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Your Honor, my answer is no. I wouldn't like her to stay to stay in the property because I have 6 kids.
You don't have to explain.
Okay.
You had me at no.
Okay.
You don't have to explain.
Okay.
Miss Duhart, Mr. Boniface is saying that there's $14,175 owed. Can you tell me your position on this?
I'm gonna talk fast. Well, we moved out in June because he said when we tried to get him the money in October, he refused it and said that he wanted us out the house. So he didn't take the money. He filed for the eviction. So we already knew that he probably didn't want us to stay in the property because he already made that statement. So we started looking for another house, and it took us to June to find one because we had a pending eviction. We had to tell the people that. So we found a place, and I'm just asking for maybe like 1 or 2 days just to get the other side of our fence out so we can secure it at this house for our dogs. And then everything else is already out the property, but we don't want to be there at the same time with him because we don't want a confrontation. And that's it. And he can have his property back. And I know everything else will be civil that I will bring to when he try to sue us or whatever. When we counter sue back, we'll have our evidence here as is. So we're already out the property. I just need to remove the other fence that we installed down for the dogs. And my husband is off work today. He hasn't made it. If we can do that, we can do that in 2 days because we already got one side already down, and just the other side, everything else we already removed out his property already.
So
that's
okay. So because you have appeared by law, the writ of possession is 7 days. So you have 7 days from today's date to move out. I
Okay.
will enter a money judgment for $14,175. Mr. Boniface, I'm going to need you to contact my judicial assistant, and we'll send you a judgment form. And on that judgment form, you need to put in your name, the defendant's name, the case number, and the judgment amount of $14,175. And I will fill in the rest. Can you do that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And as soon as you get that to us, I will get it signed, and we'll make certain that it gets filed in the clerk's office. And then you'll get a copy of the judgment. Ms. Duhart will get a copy of the judgment, and then you'll have to go into the collections side of it, okay? Yes, sir.
You know what I wanted to do, find out is there was a time I overheard about this assistance from the government, but they said I have to come with the tenant. I have to fill the form with the tenant. The tenant has to sign it. So if it's something that will help her, we go together and see whether we can apply so that will help them. You will not bother about paying the money. But
well, that's what I was asking, but the way the program works is designed so that people are not kicked out onto the street. So if you're kicking her out on the street, that program doesn't work. This program is designed to help both parties, help the landlord to recover money and help the tenant to stay in a residence and not be kicked out on the street. So we can't do half of it. It has to be done with both. So, and that's why I was asking the question generally about people speaking before we get to wherever we're going, because everybody comes to court because they are having a disagreement. But the court's job is not to force one person to do something they don't want to do. Court's job is to hear the evidence, make a decision on the evidence, or to give the parties an opportunity to have a discussion and see if they can meet in the middle. I asked that, and the answer was no. And it seems like Ms. Duhart has moved on. And I'm certain if you and your husband have found another place, you've already expended money for the new place. So it seems like the ship is kind of sailed on that. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Boniface?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. And I don't know what to say.
Okay. Well, send that information over to or request the judgment form from Ms. Moultrie by email, and she'll send it to you. Fill that information out. Do you remember what I told you to fill out?
Yeah, you told me to fill judgment form. I have to write my name, and the defendant has to write her name, and they have to write the amount for the judgment.
And the case number.
And the case number.
Do you have the case number?
Yeah, I know the case number. Case number.
It's 18224, 2021 CM 18224. And Ms. Duhart, I'll do a writ of possession today for 7 days out from today's date.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Duhart, you can be excused, and Mr. Boniface, you can be excused, but please get that information to me so that we can then move forward.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you. Have a good
Excuse me,
day.
Judge.
thank you.
Excuse me,
Was
Judge.
that Ms. Hutchison?
Yes, sir. Instead, can Mr. Boniface come and fill out the judgment in the clerk's office? And can I send it to Mary?
Yes, you can. Stop, Mr.
Okay.
Boniface.
Yeah, I can go down.
Okay.
Mary, may you please email me a copy of the judgment?
We'll go down to the clerk's office and they'll get you some help.
Okay. And I'll send it. I'll send it right now.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Director.
Okay, I'll send it to Miss Mary.
That's officer.
The clerk.
Give me 1 second. Okay, I just sent 2 versions to you and Miss Mary. One of them already has my signature on it, and the other one is blank. All right, let's see. Mr. Phillips,
Yes, Your Honor.
we have Mr. Gibson. in the courtroom? Is Mr. Gibson the only person left in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor. We also have, oh, yes, Your Honor. I apologize. That's the last person in the court.
Okay, and you wanted to speak to Mr. Gibson, correct, Mr. Phillips?
Yes, Your Honor, and actually, the screen name assistant manager Montego Apartments is also part of this case. If we can get a breakout room with him, hopefully we can get it settled.
Okay, I'll put all three in a breakout room, and then Ms. Barksdale, you've been so patient. I'm gonna deal with your matters. Still. Let's see. You're still in breakout room 1, Mr. Phillips? And
Yes, Your Honor.
place Mr. The manager in the court.
Looks like both of them are there, so we'll be back.
Okay, thank you. Miss Barksdale. Okay, we're gonna begin with position number 1. You have a motion to strike.
Your Honor, I have a motion to strike and grant a pass-through rent through, I just calculated it through the end of May at the rate of $1,456 per month. And the grand total on this case would be $14,042.67.
67 cents.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the motion to strike is the answer is granted. There's going to be immediate writ of possession.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I just need you to get that to me
I will,
for my
Judge.
signature.
I will.
And the judgment amount will be $14,042.67. And you said it was $1,000 a month?
$1,456 per month.
Okay, 1,400. And I'm not good with numbers, so
1456.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Position number 2, Marbella Place versus Cameron Samples. You have a motion to strike.
Your Honor, we move to strike the answer from Ms. Samples and grant a judgment through the end of May at $14,388.92. $14,388.92.
Okay.
The monthly rent on this unit is $1,112 per month.
Okay, the
And
motion is, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And we'd ask for a writ of possession and stanza.
Okay, the motion to strike is granted. The request for possession and stanter is granted, and there's going to be a judgment on this case for $14,388.92.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, position 3 is dismissed with warrant of prosecution. Mr. Phillips there. Position 6, Morrow Townhomes versus Reginald Franklin. You have
Yes,
motion
Your
to
Honor.
strike.
We do. We ask that the court strike Mr. Franklin's answer and grant pass-through rent through February of 2022 at the rate of $4,896.80. $4,896.80. And the monthly rent on this unit is $774 per month. And we would ask for a writ of possession in stanza. Even though he skipped, we have not gotten the key. And I just calculated the rent through the date he skipped, which was February the 27th.
Okay.
So we just need a writ to get the property back.
Okay. So the writ of possession will be granted in stanter. Motion to strike. The answer is granted. And there will be a money judgment of $4,829.92.
and 80 cents, Judge.
and 80 cents. Okay. And that's it for you.
It is, Judge. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always
Have a
good to
good.
see you.
It's always great to see you. And I think I have a question to ask you offline.
Okay.
And I think I still have your number, but what's a good contact number for you?
404
Uh-huh.
637
Mm-hmm.
8775.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll
Okay.
submit the orders to you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And you are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too.
Uh-huh.
And Ms. Hutchison, while we're waiting on Mr. Phillips to come back, I'm going to print these writs of possession off of CPU 8, and I'm going to send them to Miss Mary. So you should be able to get them from her.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
You're welcome. I guess Mr. Phillips is talking to his client. But soon as that is done, we will be done.
Judge, what about position 7? Is that dismissed? For one
Position, yes, position 7 is dismissed for warrant of prosecution. And Ms. Hutchinson, how do you want me to handle those position 3 and position 7?
Well, I'm not, Judge Knights usually sends in a judgment with it
Okay.
dismissed on there.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay.